Can you lay down for a second, buddy? Come on. Hello. Are you ready to get crafting? Hey guys, welcome back to Handmade. I'm Liz. And you might remember a few weeks ago, I made a video all about pressing flowers in the microwave. I actually got so into this process that I have a ridiculous number of pressed flowers, so I've been researching other ways to use them. One thing I kept coming back to was the pressed flower phone case. These are super trendy right now, and there are a lot of places to buy these, but making your own is easier than you think, and if you make your own, you can totally customize it with flowers that you love. So today I'm going to show you 4 creative ways to make a pressed flower phone case. Let's get started. First, you'll need pressed flowers. I pressed everything that I'm going to use today using the microwave method, which I highly recommend. Pick your flowers of choice and cut the stems as short as you can, and then place a paper towel underneath the blooms and another paper towel on top. You'll need something to weigh it down while they are pressing, and I'm using a casserole dish for that. Then microwave in 30-second increments until the flowers are flat and dry. I'll link to the full microwave pressed flower tutorial in the comments below for even more tips. Okay, now it's time to start dressing up some phone cases. I'm going to clean this case with an alcohol wipe before adding any of the flowers, just to make sure to clean off any oils or fingerprints. You know we love a good rainbow here at Handmade, so I had to do one with a Roy G. Biv collection of leaves and petals. I have a bunch of flowers growing in my yard, so I just pulled off a petal here and there, but a flower vendor at your local farmer's market would be a great place to get a bunch of different bloom colors without buying full bouquets. I'm going to lay out my design first, then use a bit of clear permanent adhesive to tack the flowers down. This is going to keep them from popping up once we add the resin. For smaller flowers, I ended up using tweezers to hold the flowers while I added glue just to avoid gluing my fingers together. It's not a good look, you know? So everything is glued on, and I'm just going to set this aside to dry for a few minutes. On to the next case. This one, I'm going to feature one large flower. This is purple stock, which you can get in most grocery store floral sections. I'm going to trim the stem so it lines up with the edge of the case and add some glue, then set this one aside. This next one is going to be a camp scene, and it was inspired by artwork from the ladies at the studio Sister Golden. To start, I'm going to trace a piece of black cardstock and cut to fit the bottom of the phone case. This will be the base of the landscape. And I'm actually going to put this inside of the case versus outside. To start the look, I'm adding some pressed cedar as the trees. Next, for a tent, I cut a red flower petal into a triangle, then added a yellow petal folded in the center right on top. Oh my gosh, so cute. Then a tiny daisy serves as the sun. I'm just going to add glue to secure everything. For the final case, I'm going with a more classic look. If you're new to pressing flowers, I think rose petals and daisies are some of the prettiest and easiest options. I'm also adding some tiny yellow flowers as an accent. Time to glue. So while the cases are drying, let's talk resin, aka epoxy. I purchased a kit online that was designed for jewelry, which we'll link to. It's important to choose one that's clear and non-yellowing so your case holds up over time. And this is a 2-part epoxy, so you need to mix both parts together to activate it. Mix times can vary, but the basic instructions are usually the same. Put on some gloves and then pour equal parts from each bottle into 2 disposable cups, then pour them together and mix. I used about 3 ounces for all 4 cases, so you really don't need much, which makes this a great batch project. Stir together until there are no streaks left, which took about 3 minutes for me, but again, make sure that you refer to the directions for the resin you're using. Okay, moment of truth. We're going to start by pouring a few small dollops of resin onto the phone case. You want to start pouring in the middle and work the resin over the flowers first, then towards the edges until everything is covered and there's an even layer on the whole case. So I got a little overconfident on this case. Again, be careful not to overfill it or the resin will overflow. Luckily, this is just a piece of plywood, but covering your work surface is always a good idea. You can clean up any drips with a cotton swab and some nail polish remover after the resin is dry. This resin doesn't begin to set up for about 40 minutes, so there's plenty of time to manipulate it if you want to make a change. Don't worry if the surface of the resin looks a little uneven. It will level out as it dries. And now I'm just going to repeat on the other 3 cases. After about 30 to 40 minutes, you may see a few bubbles rise to the top of the resin. If that happens, just grab a toothpick and gently pop. And now we wait. These will set up in about 8 hours, but it's good to give it a bit more time just to be safe. Well, the resin is dry, and I love the way these phone cases turned out. They're all beautiful, but I'm partial to the rainbow. But I want to hear from you. Which one of these cases was your favorite? Let me know in a comment below. And let me know also if you have any more ideas for pressed flowers, because I have a ton of them to use. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!